Welcome back, students. We have completed up to Unit 5 in the last class and the last video lecture. Today we will discuss about Unit 6. We are going to start Unit 6 today. That is digital cellular networks. Digital cellular networks. In Unit 1 we have discussed about evolution of cellular systems. Okay. Then we already discussed about up to 1G to 5G communication. Anyway, in 1G some analog cellular techniques are used. From 2G, the digital techniques came into existence. Okay. Anyway, here digital cellular networks means that is discussing about GSM global system for mobile, CDMA, TDMA, GPRS general packet radio service, okay, HSPA technology, 3G technology, that is UMTS. These are all come under digital cellular networks. Anyway, in this unit, we will discuss about some of the digital cellular networks. Okay. So let's see the syllabus of Unit 6. Okay. That is about GSM architecture, GSM channels, multiple access schemes. These multiple access schemes are nothing but TDMA, CDMA, OFDMA. TDMA, time division multiple access. CDMA, code division multiple access. OFDMA, orthogonal frequency division multiple access. The last topic, 3G, about 3G, that means UMTS technology. Okay. Architecture of 3G cellular systems. These are the contents we will discuss in Unit 6. These are the contents we will discuss in Unit 6. Today, in this class, we will discuss about the topic GSM architecture. We will discuss about the topic GSM architecture. So, GSM, what is GSM? Okay, how it is evolved, how it is being developed, how many revisions have been taken, in which it has started, in which a moderate conclusion came into existence, and what is the architecture consists of, what are its main parts to consider, main systems to consider. These things we will discuss. Anyway, at first, European Conference of Postal and Telecommunication Administrations, that is simply called as CEPT, European Conference of Postal and Telecommunication Administrations, CEPT, which is a European group, began to develop GSM, Global System for Mobile TDMA system, in June 1982. So, initiation takes place by a European group in 1982. And what are its objectives? What are the objectives of GSM? Okay. The objectives of GSM are, first one, Pan-European roaming. You know what is meant by roaming? Pan-European roaming. We used to say that national roaming, international roaming, like that. Okay, for our cellular systems, what we are using daily. So, Pan-European roaming means which offers compatibility through the European continent. And you students are much familiar about Pan-India movie, right? In a similar fashion, the objective is not to create a roaming, for the respective cellular system throughout the European continent. That is simply Pan-European roaming. The second objective is interaction with integrated service digital network, ISDN. Okay, ISDN. Interaction with the integrated service digital network, ISDN, which offers, okay, means the GSM while developing has an objective to interact with ISDN. Okay, that is integrated service digital network, which offers the compatibility or the capability to extend the single subscriber line system to multiple or multi-service system with various services which are currently offered only through diverse telecommunication networks. Means here, so there are some specific operations, okay, or some specific services which are operated by different telecommunication networks. So what the GSM objective is not only creating a pan-European roaming, but also wants to integrate different services, okay, in a single pack. Okay. So in order to create that, it wants to integrate with the ISDN. Okay. Not only following a single subscriber line, but a multi-service system. Multi-service means GSM has many features. Of course, we will discuss in the coming topics. So these are the main objectives. In order to create a multi-service system combined with ISDN, and in order to create a pan-India roaming. These are objectives when the initiation takes place. Okay, when in 1982 by an European group, that is CEPT. These is about the introduction. Next, not only that, system capacity was not an issue in the initial development of GSM. But what is the issue there? Okay, but due to unexpected rapid growth of cellular systems or cellular service, there are a number of revisions, okay, taken by the GSM. For about 35 revisions have been made to GSM since it first issued specification. After the first issued specification about the objectives, what are the described thing. Okay. So later the initiation, there are about 35 revisions which have taken place for the GSM conclusion. Anyway, the first commercial GSM system called is D2, okay, which was implemented in Germany in 1992. So after a number of revisions and considering a multi-service system, okay, with pan-European roaming, all these things, the first commercial GSM system came into existence in 1992 in Germany, which is called as D2, right? So this is those are all about the introduction part with respect to GSM. Okay. Now going into the first topic of Unit 6, that is GSM architecture. So GSM architecture consists of many subsystems, okay, such as mobile station which we are using. We have our mobile phone. Next, base station subsystem BSS. Next, network and switching subsystem NSS, and the operation subsystem OSS. Okay, mobile station MS, and you have to remember these abbreviations. Okay, because in the coming slides, in the coming video lecture, we used to simply say it is a BSS, NSS, MSC, BTS, BSC, like. So you have to remember mobile station MS, base station subsystem BSS, network and switching subsystem NSS, and lastly operation subsystem OSS, which is shown in figure below. Okay. So the mobile station subsystem, mobile station, OSS, operation subsystem, and the network and switching subsystem. Okay. This is the what are the main subsystems which exist in a GSM. Anyway, individually we will discuss about individual architectures and individual functionality in the coming session. So first one, that is about mobile station. What does a mobile station consist of? Mobile station means our mobile phone only. What does it consist of? Mobile equipment and a SIM, right? Maybe a nano SIM or a micro SIM, whatever it is. Because subscriber identity module. Mobile station is made up of two entities. First one is mobile equipment. Second one is subscriber identity module. That is a SIM. Next. So what the mobile equipment consists of? Okay. So mobile equipment is a portable. Because we have discussed here, mobile station consists of two entities. One is mobile equipment or mobile phone. We used to buy a mobile phone and we used to buy a SIM card and used to insert the SIM card in the mobile phone. So and we are discussing about these two parts again. First one is mobile equipment. What is a mobile equipment? What is a subscriber identity module? Mobile equipment. Mobile equipment is portable, you know that. And some mobile equipments are vehicle mounted and some are handheld devices. Generally we use handheld devices. Handheld means which we operate by means of a hand. Right? And uniquely identified by a IMEI number. Okay. So if a mobile phone theft has to take place, okay, if some other fellow inserted a SIM in the stolen mobile phone, the subscriber ID module, okay, the SIM card used to detect the IMEI number, or the SIM card is linked with the IMEI number. So by IMEI number or by using a SIM card, you can trace the mobile phone, where the mobile phone exists. Okay. Alright, these are all features are there by means of the features given by the GSM model, right? So uniquely identified by IMEI number, that is International Mobile Equipment Identity. Each mobile has a different IMEI number. If we have two SIMs, okay, we have two SIMs in your mobile. For each SIM, there exists an IMEI number. Okay, with respect to mobile equipment, in the mobile equipment it is given. Next, voice and data transmission. Okay, we can talk, can transmit some voice, and we can data transmission also exists in the mobile equipment. See, mobile equipment is simply your mobile phone. That's it, right? So, monitoring mobile and power signal quality of surrounding cells for optimum handover. See, in Unit 5 handoff, you people studied about what is meant by a mobile assisted handoff. Means the mobile unit used to trace the signal quality. Okay, the signal quality is very less. Then the mobile sends a request to the base station. The base station will provide a handoff to some other channel. Okay, from the nearby sensor, right? So the mobile equipment not only does this functions, but also it's monitoring power and signal quality of surrounding cells for optimum handover. Okay, handoff and handover both are same. Okay, handoff and handover both are same. Okay, for optimum handover means the mobile equipment used to check the signal quality. The signal quality is very less, then it will request a handoff or a handover. Next, power level. What is the power level mentioned for the mobile equipment? There is 0.8 watts to 20 watts and 160 character long SMS. These are the basic things. Okay, basic things. Now, mobile equipment now support greater than 160 characters. Okay. Next, about subscriber entry module. Okay, subscriber entry module. We are discussing about mobile station. Okay, we have discussing the GSM architecture. First one is mobile station. Okay, right. So, in mobile station, two entities are there. One is mobile equipment. Second one is subscriber entry module. We have completed mobile equipment. Now we are discussing about subscriber entry module. So, smart card contains the international mobile subscriber entry. Okay, means smart card means nothing but the SIM card. Okay, this SIM card subscriber entry module consists of international mobile subscriber entry. Subscriber entry. See, the mobile phone has IMEI number. Okay, the SIM card has IMSI number. Okay, so that is, here it is International Mobile Equipment Identity. Equipment means mobile phone. Okay, here International Mobile Subscriber Identity. Okay, so to which third party service provider the mobile equipment is subscribed to. Okay, to some Airtel, Vodafone, etc. Okay, so International Mobile Subscriber Entity. Second one, allows user to send and receive calls and receive other subscriber services. So we have many services provided by the third party service providers. Okay, Vodafone has some SIM services that one used to provide, and Airtel has some services. Okay, like that. Whatever was subscribed to. Okay, allows user to send and receive calls and receive other subscriber services. Okay. Okay, if you are subscribed to Hello Tunes, okay, you will get that service. If you are subscribed to some astrology messages, you will get that respective messages, like that. Next, protected by a password or a PIN. Okay, your mobile has a PIN or a password. Similarly, the SIM card has a password or a PIN. Next, can be provided from phone to phone, contain key information to activate the phone. Next, the SIM is a subscriber module which stores all the subscriber related information. Subscriber means we are the subscriber. Okay, what we are subscribed to? We subscribe to only calls, voice messages, or we subscribe to any data services, okay, or we are subscribed to any other features provided by the service provider. What are we subscribed to? When a subscriber's SIM is inserted into the mobile equipment of a mobile station, that mobile station belongs to the subscriber and the call is delivered to that respective mobile station. Means about the call initiation of the call. The mobile equipment is not associated with a call number, it is linked to the SIM. Means if you are dialing a number, okay, the respective number is not dedicated to the mobile equipment. The respective mobile number is not given for the mobile equipment. The respective number is given for the SIM. The respective mobile number, 10-digit number, is linked with the SIM. That is the point. So in this case, the mobile equipment can be used by a subscriber when the SIM is inserted in the mobile equipment. Means we can insert the SIM in any mobile equipment, and we can use the respective services provided by the SIM card or the respective service provider. Okay. This is about subscriber entry module. Okay. So in GSM there are 4 systems to study. Okay. That is, first one is mobile station system. We have discussed about mobile station. That is 2 entities it has. One is mobile equipment and SIM card. Okay. Next we have 3 systems to discuss. Mobile station completed. Next, base station subsystem, network and switching subsystem, and last one is operation subsystem. So next one, base station subsystem. What is a base station subsystem? So, and this base station subsystem consists of 2 major hardware components. One is base transceiver station BTS. Second one is base station controller BSC, and we have to remember these abbreviations. Okay, base transceiver station BTS and base station controller BSC. And this BSS, base station subsystem consists of BTS located at the antenna site means cell site, okay, and the base station controller BSC that may control several BTSs. So in the figure it shows that from the mobile phone we are making a call which is connected to the respective base transceiver station, that is BTS, okay, and there will be n number of BTS which are connected to commonly a base station controller, okay, BSC, okay, base station controller. This is how a call is said to be connected. Okay, so base station subsystem only provides the respective mobile user to connect to the respective base station controller. Of course, there is a other part too. Okay, mobile phone to BTS base transceiver station, from BTS to base station controller, and for every base station controller there exist 2 or more base transceiver stations, or for sometimes the single base station controller consists of only one BTS, that is one base transceiver station. Here we will discuss these things. Base transceiver station. What are the functions of the base transceiver station? So the BTS consists of radio transmission and reception equipment similar to mobile equipment in a mobile station. Okay, so here they are comparing with respect to, there is a mobile station. Mobile station consists of a mobile equipment and a SIM card. In a similar fashion, the BTS base transceiver station also consists of a radio transmission and reception equipment. Okay, transmission equipment and reception equipment similar to a mobile equipment in a mobile station. We have all discussed about mobile station. Mobile station consists of mobile equipment and subscriber entry module. And a transporter or rate adaptation unit TRAW, okay, simply we used to say as TRAW. A transporter or rate adaptation unit TRAW carries out encoding and speech decoding and rate adaptation for transmitting data. Okay, simply the TRAW functions are encoding encryption, multiplexing, modulation, and feeds the respective signal to the antenna. Okay. And the base transceiver station contains the RF components, radio frequency components, that provide the air interface for a particular cell. Air interface means medium to transmit. Okay. So this base transceiver station consists of some transmission equipment, reception equipment, but while transmitting and receiving the respective signal, there is a mechanism called trough which carries out encoding and speech decoding and a rate adaptation. Rate means speed. Rate adaptation for transmitting data. Okay, this is about BTS, and two more points are there. Communicate, and BTS, base transceiver station, communicates with mobile station and BSC. Mobile station. You know what means mobile station? Mobile station consists of mobile equipment and a SIM. Mobile station, that is MS, and BSC. BSC means base station controller. Base station controller. Next, last point consists of transceiver units. In the first point only I have mentioned, it consists of transmission and reception equipment. So that is how a base transceiver station exists. BTS exists. Next, base station controller, and it provides the control for the base station subsystem, BSS. This is BSS, base station subsystem. Not only that, it is in charge of handover. Frequency hopping. You know what is frequency hopping? Exchange functions and control of power level of BTS. And how to control the power level of BTS? Frequency hopping. Next, in charge of the handovers. Next, communicates. Don't bother about handovers. You have studied already handoff. Okay, handoff in Unit 5. Simply, that is nothing but a handover. So communicates directly with the MSC. That is Mobile Switching Center, MSC. Next, it may control singular, multiple BTS. Singular, multiple base transceiver station. Next, and also this is about base station controller and BTS. Till now I have discussed about GSM architecture, mobile station, mobile equipment and subscriber entry module. Next, base station subsystem. Base station subsystem consists of two hardware components. One is BTS, base transceiver station. Second one is BSC, base station controller. Okay, this is still these are the contents which have discussed till now. Okay, continuation. And this GSM uses open system interconnection. That is OSI model. We have studied computer networks about OSI model. OSI, and there are three common interfaces based on OSI. Okay. Anyway, next slide I can show the figure. There is a common radio interface called air interface between mobile station and BTS, and interface A called between MSC and BSC, and ABA interface between BTS and BSC. Okay, this is the OSA model. Functional architecture and principal interfaces. Okay, operating open system interfaces in a GSM. Okay, so there exists an A interface between MSC and BSC, and there is a ABIS interface between BSC and BTS, and there is a radio interface between BTS and MS. Okay, these are the interfaces exist in a GSM architecture. Okay. Anyway, in GSM architecture there are number of subparts are there. Mobile station, base station subsystem. This comes under base station subsystem. Later we will go to NSS, network and switching subsystem. Okay. Anyway, in the starting of the video lecture, I have mentioned about there are various subsystems in the GSM, right? Mobile station we have completed, base station subsystem completed. Next, we are going to study about network and switching subsystem NSS. So network and switching subsystem. Okay. It is said to be an intelligent network. It is said to be an intelligent network in GSM, and a signaling NSS network and switching subsystem includes the switching functions of the GSM. GSM switching functions of the GSM. And this network and switching subsystem manages communication between GSM users and other telecommunication users. Okay, GSM users and other telecommunication users. Other telecommunication users may be a public PSTN, okay, public switched telephone service network, okay, or one service provided to other service providers, right? So NSS management consists of what are the modules or the functions or the features the network subsystem, network switching subsystem consists of, right? So first one is mobile service switching center MSC. Second one is interworking function IWF. Third one is home location register HLR. Fourth one is visitor location register VLR. Fifth one is gateway MSC GMSC. Sixth one is signaling transfer point STP. The last one is operation subsystem OSS, right? So these are the NSS, okay, network and switching subsystem management functions. The management, what does it manage? What does the NSS do? Okay, NSS will do respective functions about MSC, AWF, HLR, digital location VLR, GMSC, STP, and lastly OSS. Anyway, we will discuss about what are these respective operations. Okay, what are the functions of the respective operations? Okay, and the respective with respect to the network and switching subsystem. Okay, means network and switching subsystem used to manage the features. These are all the features exist in the GSM only. But while discussing the GSM architecture, we are studying with respect to mobile station, base station subsystem, NSS, network and switching subsystem, and last one is operating OSS. Okay, that is operation subsystem OSS. Operation subsystem OSS. See, we are dividing and studying. Okay, and there are some subparts in mobile station. There are some subparts in base station subsystem. There are subparts in NSS. And the NSS management, what does the NSS do? It used to manage these functions. And what are these? Okay, we will study. So this is how the internal environment or the external structure of an NSS looks like. Okay, so there is an NSS interconnection with OSS, public switched telephone network PSTN. Okay, base station subsystem BSS. Okay, SS sound protocol. Okay, rest HLR, AUC, MSC, VLR. With respect to public switched telephone network PSTN, gateway for MSC, GMSC, BSS, ESS. Okay, see, these are all the connection flow or the control flow or the connectivity. What does an NSS do? Okay, so NSS and its environment. Figure A represents the external environment. Figure B represents the internal structure. Okay, we will discuss about these features separately, one by one. Okay, that is first one, mobile service switching center MSC. See, here I have mentioned the management functions. What does an NSS do? MSC, IWF, HLR, VLR, GMSC, STP, OSS. Okay, so in the coming slides we will discuss about each thing individually. That is first one, MSC. Okay, that points only, that management functions only. We are explaining them in a separate, okay, individually. Okay, not to highlight the individual functionality of each. So mobile service switching center MSC, that which coordinates the call setup. Okay, which coordinates the call setup to and from GSM users, and this MSC controls several BSCs. Okay, several BSCs means base station controllers. Okay, So it coordinates the call setup to and from the GSM users. Okay, from the GSM user to a GSM user. Okay, the mobile service switching center. Switching center means after mobile equipment we are dialing mobile equipment to BTS, BTS to BSC, from BSC to MSC. Okay, so it coordinates the call setup. Okay, to and from the GSM. GSM user means from the mobile equipment only. This one is interworking functions, IWF. So a gateway for MSC, okay, which is considered as a gateway for MSC. MSC means mobile switching center. Okay, MSC means mobile switching center to interface with external networks for communication with users outside GSM. Okay, communicate with users outside GSM. Okay. So not as the communication outside GSM, okay, interworking function used to allocate, okay, outside GSM such as that is PSPDN and CSPDN. Okay, PSPDN means packet switched public data network and circuit switched public data network. Okay. The role of the IWF interworking function depends on the type of the user data and the network to which it interfaces. Okay, this means the role of the interworking function depends upon the network which we are going to interface outside GSM. Okay, outside GSM means it may be going to connect a CDMA phone from a GSM phone, for example, like that. Next one, home location register, HLR. Okay, which consists of a standalone computer without switching capabilities and a database which contains subscriber information and the information related to the subscriber's current location but not the actual location of the subscriber. Home location register means, see, I have a mobile phone. Okay, I used to stay at home from morning 9 to 5. I used to be in college, right? So most of the time in GSM, this is one of the service providers. Most of the time, where the subscriber used to live under which base station. Okay, so the respect to GSM or the technique involved and the features involved in GSM, we used to store the information where the subscriber is existing. Okay, it may be temporarily or it may be permanently. Right. In a similar fashion, here also the home location register is the one of the service provided by the GSM, right, under NSS. So what is it consists of? Contains the subscriber information and information related to subscriber current location. Okay, where the subscriber is. That's why only in movies or in any crime cases we used to say by means of mobile they used to find the respect to individual location. Okay, where is he? Okay, where is he going to? Okay, and what are the places he traveled? What are the places he used to visit? All these been identified by use of these services only. So, but not the actual location of the subscriber. The subdivision of HLR is the Authentication Center AUC. The AUC manages the security data for subscriber authentication. Okay, security. Okay, Authentication Center provides the security for the respect to subscriber. And another subdivision of HLR is Equipment Identity Register (EIR). Okay, Equipment Identity Register (EIR), which stores the data of mobile equipment. Okay. And the EIR register, Equipment Identity Register, used to store the data of the mobile equipment. What is the model of your mobile? Okay, what are the features existing in your mobile? What are the features supported by your mobile? What are the digital technology does your mobile support? These information will be stored in the Equipment Identity Register. Next, Visitor Location Register (VLR) links to one or more MSC. Okay, links to one or more MSC means mobile switching center. Temporarily storing subscription data currently served by its corresponding MSC and holding more detailed data than the HLR. Visitor Location Register means it stores temporarily. So where the mobile user used to visit. Okay. He used to travel from one place to other place. Okay, where he has stopped. Okay, that locations used to be stored by the respective service. Okay, So it is mentioned it links to one or more MSCs. Links to one or more MSCs means mobile switching center. As a mobile user used to travel from one place to other place, different mobile switching center used to cooperate. Okay, and used to update the location, temporary location. Okay, and the holding more detailed data than the HLR. HLR means home location register. Means where the subscriber used to live most, used to stay most. For example, the VLR holds more current subscriber location information than the location information at the HLR. Means, see, we used to use the mobile and we used to travel a lot. Okay, from your home to your job location. Okay, and there are several visitor location from your home location to the job location. And your home or the respective office is said to be the respective HLR, home location register, which you stay most. Okay, and which you travel, these places are said to be visitor location register. Means if you are using a GSM SIM in your mobile, okay, the respective authority knows your number. They can easily trace where you are going, where you are staying most, through which tower you are connecting. Means we are connecting through from mobile phone to base station transceiver. So from the base station transceiver location, we can trace the respective subscriber location. That's the point. Gateway MSC, GMSC. Okay, GMSC means in order to set up a requested call is requested, in order to set up a requested call, the call is initially routed to a gateway MSC, means gateway mobile switching center, which finds the correct HLR, home location register, by knowing the directory number of the GSM subscriber. So not only tracing, okay, by knowing the home location register or by updating the respective home location register, it is very easy for a caller to connect to the other GSM user. Okay, if you know the location, then the call connection process is very less. Okay, call connection process is very less means within minimum delay. Means that much fast we can connect to the other GSM user. If you know the home location register, the home location register and visitor location register are updated. The GMSC has a interface with the external network for gatewaying, and network also operates the full SS7, means signaling system 7, between the NSS machines. Means there exists a connectivity, there is a protocol, SS7 is the protocol, SS7 is an international telecommunication protocol standard that defines how the network elements in NSS. NSS is all about network station subsystem. Okay, network and switching subsystem. So how the network elements in a public switch telephone network exchange information along with information about information and control signals. So this is the communication protocol, telecommunication protocol used in the respective GMSC. Next again STP. So STP optimizes the cost of signaling transport. Okay. It optimizes means it will reduces. Okay. So signaling transfer point used to optimize the respective cost of the signaling transport among the respective MSC, VLR, GMSC and HLR. Okay. The last topic is about operation subsystem. We have discussed about in GSM Architecture, we have discussed about mobile station, base station subsystem, network and switching subsystem. The last one is OSS, that is operation subsystem. Okay. The figure shows the OSS organization, and there are three areas of OSS, operation subsystem, to consider as shown in the figure. Okay. So first one is network operation maintenance functions. Okay. So network operation and maintenance. Okay. So definition itself states that how the network is operated, how we are going to maintain the respective network. Okay. Means all the operations are done here. Second area to consider is subscription management, including charging and billing. Subscription management. So what is what are the user subscribed to? What are the subscriptions that the user have, and what are we going to charge? What are the respective service provider going to charge for the respect to subscriptions during a period of 1 month or 28 days, etc. Next, again, last one is mobile equipment management. Mobile equipment means mobile station, okay, which consists of both the mobile equipment and a SIM card. So these are about the operation subsystem. Means operation subsystem consists of network operation and maintenance, subscription management and charging, and the mobile equipment management. These are the three operations performed by the respective operation subsystem. Okay. So today in this class we have discussed about GSM architecture. Okay, GSM architecture, mobile station, MS. Mobile equipment and subscriber module. Next, base station subsystem, BSS. BSS consists of BTS, base transceiver station, and BSC, base station controller. Okay. Next, about network and switching subsystem. Okay, there are 5 to 6 parameters and one internal structure and external structure figure in the network and switching subsystem. All the HLR, VLR, okay, interworking IWF, GMSC. We have discussed about different management functions. Okay, and the last one is OSS, operation subsystem. Okay, so these are about the GSM architecture. Thank you.